There's a family in our driveway.
It's probably the neighbors. But y'all scared of a family? Hi, can I help you?
Zora.
Us is directed by Jordan Peele and follows the Wilson family as they are confronted by a psychotic doppelganger family while on vacation in Santa Cruz. Fun fact, Jordan Peele's first acting credit is from 2006, where he played a gangster in the music video for Weird Al Yankovic's song White and Nerdy.
I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and dirty.
After that, he did a lot of TV. Everything from 2006 to 2016 is TV, which explains why I'm not very familiar with his work, since I watch very little TV. Very little. So when Get Out blew up in 2017, Jordan Peele was not a name that I knew. Believe me, I know it now. With just 2 movies under his director list over at IMDb, Peele already is one of the hottest directors in Hollywood, and justifiably so. Us is a psychological horror film that is difficult to talk about without spoilers, so I'll be keeping things vague. Let me start by saying that I really like this film. It's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while, and it will most certainly be one of my favorite movies of 2019. That's not to say it doesn't have some issues, but what it does right offsets what it does wrong. Okay, does wrong isn't correct. It's less that there are things it does wrong, and more that there are things it just doesn't do. Unless you've spent way too much time watching behind-the-scenes stuff for Us, know that whatever you think Us is about, you're probably wrong. The trailers oversell the confrontation scene in the Wilsons' house, but that is just a small part of what goes on in this movie. And yes, there is an M. Night Shyamalan-style twist that I did not see coming and that made a second viewing an absolute must. The one thing that Us does that is both a blessing and a curse is that it doesn't try to fill in all the gaps. This is a blessing because it doesn't hold the viewer's hand, but it's a curse because there are a number of pretty large gaps. And if I'm being 100% honest, if you spend too much time thinking about those gaps, things start to fall apart. That doesn't detract from the initial viewing experience, but in hindsight, the questions really start to pile up. The acting is top-notch. Lupita Nyong'o plays the mom, Adelaide, and she's an absolute beast, both the character and the actor. She's really good as both Adelaide and Red, her doppelganger. Second only to Lupita Nyong'o is Winston Duke as the father, Gabe. When Black Panther came out, I mentioned how much I loved Winston Duke as M'Baku, and that I was eager to see him in more stuff. Well, here he is in a very, very different role, and he does a fantastic job. Almost all of the funny in this movie comes from him, and there's a surprising amount of funny. On a side note, I don't often talk about soundtracks, but the soundtrack for Us is only the second by composer Michael Abels, and is bizarrely wonderful. There's so much I'd love to talk about, but all of it is spoilery, so I'm just going to bite my tongue and say that Us is a movie that is most definitely worth seeing, and definitely worth seeing in the theater. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. There's just too much in Us that doesn't hold up to scrutiny, so I can't give it higher than that. But I can't wait to see what else Peele has up his sleeve. He's currently working on a script for a Candyman remake, or sequel, not sure. And I hear he's interested in doing a live-action Gargoyles movie. Heck yeah. I'll be watching them both, as well as checking out the upcoming reboot of The Twilight Zone that he's producing. Pretty much anything that has his name on it, at least for the time being, I will be watching. And thank you for watching this, and I'll see you back here next week with another review.